You are now watching the Movie Juice Podcast.
The juice is loose.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Movie Juice Podcast. I'm Dylan.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm James.
Movie Juice. Movie Juice. Movie Juice. Movie Juice.
Damn, sorry,
Juice the
buddy.
movie. I was getting hyped. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You deserve it. You're a hell of a guy. All right, this week we watched Drive.
Shut up and drive.
That should have been in this.
I probably should have.
That song was out a couple years before
Yeah.
this anyway.
Probably wouldn't have fit the vibe though.
No, it wouldn't have.
All right, Dylan, give us your notes, my boy.
Alright, this movie is a 2011 American action drama film directed by Nicholas Winding Refn.
What the fuck kind of name is that?
The Nicholas Winding Road? Hell yeah.
What's R-E-F-N? I hope I said that right. It's probably just Ref. The screenplay is based on James Salas' 2005 novel. The film stars Ryan Gosling.
This is based off a book?
Yeah.
It said it in the titles.
As an unnamed Hollywood stunt driver who moonlights as a getaway driver. If I had a nickel for every time he's played a stuntman in a movie that
I
I've
have two
seen,
nickels.
I'd have two nickels. But also, I would say this movie is very Baby Driver-esque before Baby Driver.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Because like it literally opens with a heist.
But
And a getaway drive of a heist.
The film co-stars Bryan Cranston, Christina Hendricks, Ron Perlman, and Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks.
I guess that's the dude who plays
Yeah, because he's the voice of
Bernie.
somebody.
The film released on May 20th, 2011 at the Cannes Film Festival, and then released theaters September 16th, 2011. The budget was $15 million, and the box office raked in $81.4 million.
Word, so it did almost 5 times his budget. Oh, it did over 5 times his budget. That's what's up.
That was worldwide. In North America, it grossed $35.1 million. This is the first one I've ever seen it laid out like that. Normally, it just gives me the worldwide total.
Yeah.
It was released in 2,866 theaters. It was one of 4 wide releases that opened that weekend and came in second. The other 3 new releases included the re-release of The Lion King on 3D, Straw Dogs remake, and the romantic comedy I Don't Know How She Does It.
Wow.
Okay.
How did it come in second?
How does she do it?
I guess it came in second to The Lion King.
Probably Lion King, yeah.
So would you guys recommend this movie?
I was gonna the review aggregator, because I know he likes it when I do this part.
Yeah, of older movies. It's fun.
Yeah, for the older ones. Rotten Tomato reports an approval rating of 93% based on 270 reviews and an average rating of 8.30 out of 10. The site's critical consensus states, with its hyper-stylized blend of violence, music, and striking imagery, Drive represents a fully realized version of art house action. Metacritic, it sits at a 79 out of 100 based on 43 critics. And CinemaScore gave it an average grade of C- on an F to A+ scale.
Fuck Metacritic.
That's fucking
Dude,
harsh.
yeah,
Fuck
C-.
you.
That's because it's Metacritic and like it takes the consensus.
Not
of
CinemaScore.
everyone. Oh, so-
Metacritic 79 out of
Yeah.
100, which is
Well, that's
still better.
Still better.
Yeah.
That's still a fucking C though.
Yeah.
But when I was reading some of the reviews on Letterboxd, they were kind of mixed too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
But I thought
Some people like really like it. Some people think it's boring. but
Yeah.
They don't get style. Fuck them.
Yeah, they don't get style. They don't get Ryan Gosling wearing sweet driving gloves and a badass scorpion jacket.
Kissing hot chicks in elevators.
Yeah, dude. Deeply,
Fucking
passionately.
kicking in skulls.
And then beating a dude's ass after. Bro, I'd love to kiss my old lady and then,
And then-
beat a dude's ass.
And then
Fucking
driving
awesome.
around the city, borderline crying, listening to sad pop music.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck? This sounds like a great time to me. Now, would you recommend this film?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Last thing I got.
God
with this-
damn it.
No, I just happened to scroll by. That's the only reason I want to mention it. In 2014, the Huffington Post included Drive on its list of 8 movies from the last 15 years that are super overrated. Fuck you, Huffington Post.
Dude, overrated my fucking pee hole, dude.
For real.
Fuck you, dog.
They said Refn spends...
I can name like 10 more movies that are more overrated than
Yeah.
this before that.
Yeah, Refn spends all 100 minutes trying to convince you that he has a cool iPod playlist.
He does.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's because he does. It's because you don't know good playlists. Fuck you.
In What Culture included Ryan Gosling's role in top 10 most convincing psychopath performances.
Well, there you go. Shouts out What Culture.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with y'all anymore, but shouts out.
I see that take.
Yeah,
Believe
That's
it or
not a bad one.
Believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Because he is psychotic.
Yeah.
yeah, but in a cool way.
But in a cool way.
but in a cool, mysterious way.
Sweet
That makes me
fucking
want to
gloves.
fuck him.
Well, that's just Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that's fair. That is true.
Can I ask it again?
Yeah. Third time's a charm.
Would you recommend this movie?
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely would recommend this movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite Ryan Gosling performances. Too.
I would have gone in and paid for this and walked out and been like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
That was back
good.
then. That was $10 well spent.
Yeah,
I feel bad for not seeing it until now.
yeah, me too. Hey,
I mean,
this
it's
I'd
always-
seen it a couple times.
It's always been on my watch list.
It was one of those ones that forever it was, and then I finally bought it on my birthday a couple years ago, and I finally watched it, and I was like, that was well worth it.
All right, are you guys ready to step up to the juicer?
Hell yeah.
Let me put my PLE on. You know what I'm saying? Make sure there's no cuts in my gloves.
The fuck is PLE?
That's actually.
Protective.
Nah, I should do PPE.
PPE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PLE is the powerlifting equipment.
PLE is premium live event.
Yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point.
All right, movie starts.
Yeah. Film District, Odd Lot Entertainment, Bold Films.
You know, I missed all those this time. It's a weird occurrence for me.
This was a pretty bold film.
It was. There's 100,000 streets in the city.
I wrote that down too. I put maps.
And he's like talking and he's telling people how he has a 5-minute window. And if anything happens during those 5 minutes, he's got their back. But after those 5 minutes, they're on their own. And they're like, you won't be able to reach me on this phone again. And then he's like standing there in like a hotel and he grabs, or is he in his house?
I want to say it's his apartment.
Yeah, because it's pretty bare, and that's why I assumed it was a hotel at first.
Yeah.
But he grabs his bag and he goes. And then it's like a cool city shot, and it's a guy driving. And he goes to a garage, and Bryan Cranston's there.
Telling me the driver drive.
The driver drives.
Dude, yeah, this movie's called Drive, and they're not fucking kidding.
Yeah. He literally doesn't have a name. He's just called the driver.
Yeah.
But Bryan Cranston is...
That's why I only refer to him as Ryan in this movie,
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a name.
I do that a
I just
lot,
refer
too.
to him as driver.
But even Baby Driver had a name.
Yeah,
Baby.
Baby.
He was literally Baby, the driver.
And then he gets to the garage, Bryan Cranston's there, his name's Shannon.
Yep.
And they're telling him about how he's got like, this plain Jane, like, what is it, a Chevy Malibu?
Impala. Chevy Impala.
Impala
It's the most owned car in.
in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll help him be inconspicuous.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's also souped up under the hood, so it's still a good getaway car.
And then Nighttime City Overshot, which I like those.
But also he offers him
I literally
drugs.
put cool camera pan.
Yeah.
They're in California.
Yep.
And Sarah went, isn't that Malcolm's dad?
Yes, yes,
It's also Walter White.
It's also Walter White.
Put
Yeah.
some respect on his name.
He goes to like this site where these dudes are. And at first I thought he was picking him up, but he goes to the site just to be their getaway driver.
Yeah.
And then they know it's go time. And it's a really cool camera pan where it pans past his face through the back seat
Yeah.
to them doing the crime. It's really cool. And he's like fiddling with the radio, listening to the baseball game. You're like, oh, cool. I guess he just likes sports.
Yeah, because he was also watching the game whenever he left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, he's a big sports guy. I don't know. And he puts a watch, whenever they go inside, he puts his watch on the steering wheel to
Yep.
track the 5 minutes.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And the clock starts.
And then he also listens to the police radio.
Yep. And he's just kind of sitting there. And then you hear shots fired on the radio, like the cops are calling it in.
Yep.
Because shots are also, you hear the shots also get fired. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh shit. And then one guy comes running out, and they're waiting on the other one.
And it's cool. He always opens the door for his
Yeah.
people.
Yep.
He's like, that's how good of a getaway driver. He's like, he makes sure the door's open for him so that if they need a quick getaway, they can get a quick getaway. You know, he's good at his job. He knows what he's doing.
Yep. And then they drive away. And the police.
Well, the
radio-
guy takes forever. He's like, where's this guy at? Where's this guy at?
Yeah, but he gets there in time.
He eventually comes out, and then they go.
And then they're getting away, driving away, and then the police radio, like, they're listening to the radio the whole time, and they're like, hey, we know what kind of car it is, so Chevy Impala.
And then he does some GTA shit.
Dude, that's what that was
where he
fucking
turns the lights
sick.
off and like pulls into the fucking parking space while the cops drive
Yeah,
by.
and they're behind a box truck.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was cool.
Because you can do that in GTA where like you press a button, you turn the lights off, and you like hide from the cops. That was cool.
And then he hears the clear call, and he starts going again. And then they call in a chopper. He hears that on the radio, too.
Yep. And then he hides under a bridge, and I put total GTA move.
Yep. And then while they're hiding, the chopper has to go to a gang shooting. So then now it's just ground units looking for him again. The chopper's not looking for him anymore.
And then they continue to drive.
And then they literally come to a fucking intersection where a cop's at the other side.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
But then you hear on the radio, it's like, oh, we have a possible sighting of that Chevy Malibu.
Yeah.
And as soon as the light turns green, he fucking floors that shit.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
cop throws his lights on.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
And then it's crazy driving through there, and then he goes into a parking garage, and you're like, yeah, what the fuck is he doing?
Because before he does that, he's listening, and it's like, blah, 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 it's a home run, the Mets, the blah, blah, blah. I think it's like the Mets or the Mets win.
No, it's
Probably the Dodgers.
the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're in L.A.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you're good.
And then that's when he's pulling in. He pulls in and gets out.
Of the car.
Yeah, puts a hat on, takes his jacket off, reverses it so he doesn't look like he did. and walks out. And then that's when we realize, oh shit, that's why he was listening to the game.
Yep.
He could make a getaway.
And he walks past the cop, no big deal.
Yep.
And then we get the title card.
Yeah, and then Drive montage's opening credits roll, and I said this song kind of slaps.
I put hot title card because it was over his face.
Yeah,
He's got a sweet car and a sweet scorpion jacket.
yeah.
And this is the first note where I put, do I want driving gloves?
And then he gets into an elevator and he goes back to his crib, drops his bag off, and leaves. And he's driving again. And then he's in an elevator again. And a lady gets in the
He just a
elevator.
little head nod.
And she's also going to the 4th floor, which you find out is where he lives. And she has a laundry basket. I don't know. Like,
She lives at the end of the hall, and he kind of watches her go into her apartment, and then he goes into his.
yeah, and he lives in room 405. Took that down,
Yep.
didn't know if it mattered, but I wrote it down anyway. And then it cuts to, like, I guess the next day,
Yep.
and he's dressed up like a cop. And I was like, what the fuck? This dude's a cop?
Yeah.
And no, it turns out he's just a stunt driver.
This is his test screening for Fall Guy.
And he works he works for Shannon, and they're talking about like getting him a job as like a car driver. Like not a car, like a race car driver.
Yeah.
Like that's like a little mini subplot in this movie
Yeah.
for a little bit. Like they're trying to get a team together. He's gonna be
Yeah.
a driver for this team. They need blah blah blah. And then he like puts a fucking mask on, like a bald. What would that be called? Like a
Look a face mask.
like a yeah.
It's a
I
really
guess.
high end face mask.
It's like a face sculpt of someone else,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess. And he puts it on. And then this is when I realized, oh, he's a stunt driver because I thought he was a cop this whole time. And
And then the Shan's like, they want to roll a car. You do it? He's like, yeah, sure.
yeah,
And then they do it, and then he rolls it, and then classic stunt guy stuff like in Fall Guy. He gives him a thumbs up, it's good,
yep.
and then he goes home.
And then he's driving. And then he goes to a grocery store that's called the Big Six Market. And you see that the neighbor has a kid, and it's just like a little bit of like them being cutesy, like they're arguing about who is a monkey. Like she's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm a monkey. No, you're the monkey. And that's all it is. And then it's his mom and son being sweet. Cuts to the outside. He's putting a bag in his car. He bought some groceries, whatever.
He
And then-
puts him on top of the car.
because he sees that her car's fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go help her. And I was wondering, you guys think that he fucked up her car?
No, I don't.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think she was just down in her luck and her car
Well,
just took a shit.
After that one letterbox review you were talking about him being a sociopath, maybe
Yeah.
Maybe
he did.
Maybe he did it in hopes to. Maybe he did it for the nookie.
Come on,
Come on,
the nookie.
the nookie.
So you could take that cookie.
Stick it up your.
Yeah.
Stick it up your.
So maybe. Who knows?
Why did I take so long? Yeah. And
Look into
then,
these eyes.
like he helps him back to their place, and she invites him inside.
Because he says the battery's busted.
Yeah, and he's carrying her bags in, and he says, "Where should I put this?" And then the kid comes into the fucking kitchen, and he's got like a spooky mask on. And he's like, "Oh, you're so scary."
He's like, "You want a toothpick?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put Total Kyle move.
I know.
Yeah.
I wrote earlier he has a toothpick like Kyle. Like,
Is that why
Hey.
in this movie? Why you have toothpicks?
No.
gives the kid a toothpick. Glass of water bonding time because the lady,
Yeah.
her name's Irene.
Yeah.
She comes back in, offers him a glass of water. They have a little glass of water. She starts talking, how long have you been in L.A.? He's like, well, I've been here a while, And then she starts talking about her son's father
Yeah.
and how he's in
In
prison.
prison, and then she asks him,
What
well,
do you do?"
He says, "Drive," and I put, and boy, is he not kidding. We're less than 20 minutes into this fucking thing, and that's already half the runtime.
I drive. She's like a
Like a
limo?
limousine?
And he's
Something
like,
like
nah,
that.
I drive for movies.
for movies.
Like it's part time. I used to work at a garage.
And then she says, isn't that dangerous? And he don't say nothing.
Oh.
Hey.
Because I literally put in my notes. He's a man of few words, but he makes them count.
Yeah, he does. And then he just says that, he works at a garage out in Reseda, too.
Yeah.
And I put, she wants some hang down in her stanky.
Yeah, because her husband's
I
been
literally
locked
put
up.
she wants hang down.
Yeah, it's because her husband's been locked up. She's been having to flick the bean for so long. You know?
And then
Also, we found out the kid's name is Benicio.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like them walking down the street, Irene and Benicio, but it's like from afar because he's like standing there like watching them walk.
Yeah.
He's like watching them now. And then it cuts to a place called Nino's Pizzeria. And there's a dude in there eating Chinese food and he's talking to Bryan Cranston, Shannon. And Shannon's asking him about like trying to get the race car, the money for the race car so that they can start a team.
Yeah, and the other guy's name was Bernie.
Bernie,
Bernie
yeah.
Rose.
And Shannon is like, I need $430,000, and he's like, "Fuck you, buddy," because
Yeah.
like they have dealings before. You don't really know who Bernie is yet. He's just like a rich dude
Yeah.
to you, and
And then Nino comes in and is like, let me speak to my pod now.
I
He's
didn't
like,
write.
nah, I'm just fucking with you.
I didn't write his name down yet, but I just put Ron Perlman shows up.
Yeah.
and well, Shannon also says that like it's different this time because he has the driver that's going to make the difference.
Yep.
And that he would pay for this himself if he could. And then Nino shows up. You find out that because Shannon been walking with a limp,
Yeah.
he'd been hit with a few shells and he walks with a limp. You find out that he has that limp because
For a reason. Yeah.
he
We'll
owed
get there.
money. And then Bernie says that he wants to meet the driver.
Yeah, he's like, I'll meet the driver and then let me think about it.
And then Shannon gets $300,000 and Bernie gets 70%.
Because it's like the next day it shows like him seeing the driver drive.
Yeah, and then it's a cool fucking exchange with him and the driver too, because he goes to shake his hand and the driver's like, my hand's a little dirty. He's like, hey, so are mine.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, shit.
Damn. And then it's funny because Shannon tries to shake his hand and he doesn't shake Shannon's hand. He's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you, buddy."
Yeah.
And then Shannon gets towed to the garage not Shannon, Irene.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Irene shows up to the garage and he smiles. He's like, "What's up, pretty lady?" Which, I mean, I get it. Hey.
And the driver and Benicio have a staring contest.
Yeah.
And the driver totally wins. He's like, you blinked.
You blinked.
I was like, oh, shit.
And then Shannon, and then it shows Shannon and
in the
Irene.
face of that beauty.
True. It shows Shannon and Irene talking, and he's like, "Yeah, like I really like this kid. I believe in him. He's worked here for 5 or 6 years, and
He walked in wanting a job, and I paid him way less than I pay everyone else.
Yeah.
And I've been exploiting him ever since. And in my notes I put something tells me that's not a joke.
yeah, it's definitely not a joke."
Like he just seems like a sleazeball,
And then you find out
even though like he always is like friendly with him. I'm like,
he's got his back, but you can still he's a piece of shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is very evident later.
Yeah. And then you find out they're gonna have to keep Irene's car there for a few days because it's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah, he immediately offers.
Yeah,
And Shannon's
Like,
like,
exactly, been exploiting him. He's like, oh yeah, he'll take you home.
"He'll take you home." Yep.
And he's like, my car doesn't have wheels on it. You got like 5 minutes?
Yeah, I took the wheels off of his car for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't really explain that part. I guess he's just checking his tires, rotating them himself.
Yeah.
He do be driving a lot. So.
He do be.
And then
Pants of them driving.
Yep.
Yep.
Again.
And he says, "Hey, do you want to see
You want to see something? And I put hang down? Question
hang
mark?
down.
No, you can't. You can't whip out his dong. There's a kid in the back seat.
That's true. And it's like a kid that's too old.
We don't know that.
The kid would know what's going on. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't,
Kids are stupid.
kids are stupid, but I think he'd probably be like, "Why is mommy touching him in his no-no square?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh no.
Go play in the lake.
What'd your parents call your penis whenever you were a baby?
Penis.
My penis.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, mine called it a nubber.
The nubber.
Yeah.
I think I heard my dad say pecker one time. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, old men when I was younger tend to call it pecker.
but
Till like kids. They're
I'll
like,
probably say wiener.
yeah,
Yeah,
think
when I was a kid, I
call
think
it
I said
wiener.
wiener.
I would call it
Wiener.
weenie. Yeah. Fucking
my
nubber.
ding-a-ling.
calling it nubber just sets your kid up to know that their cock is small.
They knew.
And it is. They knew it wasn't gonna grow.
Oh, that's a fucking nubber right there.
Little nubber.
Oh, is that a dick or a nub?
But yeah, so then it's like we want to see something, and then they just like go driving on like a what is that called?
It's a
Turnpike?
reservoir.
It's a reservoir.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know either. I just thought it was like some
It's like,
gutter
it's like for
thing.
runoff.
Kid's sitting in mom's lap and safety hazard, and then I
Yeah.
put driving like that as GTA vibes for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, because I used to hide from the cops there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a nice tunnel in there. You just,
Yeah.
And he takes him to a little river, and they just like have like a little fun time, and then
But he still has like a little stick he's got.
Yeah.
They're skipping rocks.
The song's playing in the background, slapping.
Oh, yeah.
slapping home.
I drove home the other night with that playing.
Hell yeah, dude!
Fucking
I'm gonna
good.
probably listen to that on the way home tonight.
I'll probably listen to that playlist on the way home. I have the whole soundtrack on a playlist.
And then it shows them going back to the apartments, and he's carrying Benicio, the driver is.
Yeah,
And
with
you
his
can-
jacket on, like covering because he's cold.
Yeah, and you can tell Irene in love right now. Like,
Yeah.
she's eyeing him down.
And he's like, when they
Fuck
get back,
me
he's
style.
like, I had fun. We should hang again Saturday.
And looking out the window, cool style. She brings him his coat. Ben had a good time, so did Ryan. Apologized for putting him on the spot. He grabs his coat from her, asks her to hang this weekend. Sorry, I didn't know where we were. And she doesn't say anything whenever he asks her out, so he just kind of leaves.
Yeah.
And then it's a panning city shot. And I wrote, LA is pretty cool. Or LA is pretty. It's too bad it's a cesspool and the real asshole of America.
And hey, guess what? He's driving again.
He's
Dude,
driving.
sometimes
Again.
like they're like interactions with each other. It's so awkward.
They are, but it's probably because she's fucking married.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're that awkward. I think that's just how he is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because like
and like
the scene where like they're just staring at each other, and then she's like, what are you doing? Well, he's like, "What are you doing Saturday? I'm not doing anything."
Yeah, it's just like.
Like it's like an awkward pause.
I just feel like the sexual tension. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I kind of think
Yeah.
that too.
I don't think it's that awkward for them in the moment because they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
feeling the vibes. You know?
And then it shows him like it's just like a little montage of him growing close to Irene and Ben.
yeah,
Like he's put, or I wrote him shorthand Ben because it's Benicio,
Yeah.
that's fair.
and putting Benicio to bed, playing with toys and shit. And then they're driving, and she be touching on his hand, interlocking the fingers.
Oh shit.
And then it's back at the garage, Shannon's
Yeah.
garage, and what's it, Bernie and Nino.
Nino.
You know.
And
They're looking at the race car.
and he's like, I paid $300,000 for this piece of shit. And then like they're talking about that, and then Nino's like talking about how ugly it is, and
He's like,
Bernie's
yeah,
like,
if I, he's like, it's all under the hood. He's like, no, if I'm paying this much, I want motherfuckers to see how.
and then there's like a nice old red car, and he goes
this is a
like
fine
this
ass-
one.
It's a fine ass pussy mobile, motherfucker.
Pussy mobile motherfucker. And then Bernie goes up to the driver, and he's like, when's your first race? And he's like asking him if he's ready for the race, and he says, I hope so.
Yeah.
And then Bernie starts telling him about how he used to produce movies in the 80s, action films and sex stuff.
Which also reminds me of GTA 5 because that's like one of the things Michael does. Like he goes and like works for that producer guy.
Yeah.
Very LA centered.
And then he starts talking about how Shannon worked for him back then, and he liked him, but he always overcharged him. And then you find out that Nino's friends broke his pelvis. And the Bernie tells the driver kid to call him if he needs anything. And then it goes back to Irene and Ben. Irene's getting ready because I think she's going out with the driver. And the kid's watching TV.
It's a cool ass fucking scene too because it's like a little foreshadowing because he's watching like some cartoon with Benicio
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, it's the bad guy, huh? He's like, yeah, he's a shark, and he's like, well, there's no good sharks, and I'm like, oh, he's like, I guess he's trying to like validate himself, like, you know, I can't be a bad guy, right? Like there can be some good sharks.
And then the babysitter shows up, and Irene goes back into the bathroom to finish getting ready, and her phone rings. And then it cuts to them driving together, and she tells him that Ben's dad is coming home next week. And then it cuts to the driver, and he's working on like a car part
For her,
for her.
I think it's that piece he brought in, and like so he's like working on it on his own time for
Yeah,
like
he's
her.
at home.
so
yeah.
like you know he's the guy.
But while he's doing
He's that guy, pal. Trust me.
she's next door having a welcome home party
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her husband. Standard is his name,
Yep.
which is a terrible fucking name.
Agreed.
Oh, I said the Standard. Fuck you.
That's also Moon Knight.
I have a thing later about Stanley.
Oh, sick. I love you. Hey. And I
But
put,
yeah, he is Moon Knight.
was she cheating on her husband?
So I put Dad's back, and he's got a lot to make up for.
Well, we never really see them fuck. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, she was still like grabbing on his hand and
Yeah.
like letting him like love on their son. Like that's kind
That's
of,
still emotional cheating.
if you ask me, that's cheating. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But yeah. So it shows the husband's welcome home party, and he's talking
Yeah.
about how he's getting a second chance,
What?
and how his second chances they're rare and
Yeah.
they're worth celebrating. And then he makes a toast to Irene.
like, I understand why he didn't get invited, but like, damn.
Yeah, damn, sad.
Yeah.
He don't know the motherfucker.
But while he's making this toast, it's like switching.
To her, and she's looking at him like,
She looks so disappointed.
And then it's
Yeah.
also showing like the driver too, like where
Yeah.
he's just doing stuff, and it's like, damn, the duality of it all, you know?
And then like a song is playing. It says, "I do nothing but think of you," as it flashes back and forth between them.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I thought that was really
oh yeah.
beautiful.
Kid Cudi sampled it for one of the Wizard songs,
Yeah.
and because I remember when I heard it, I was like, bro, to this point now, I kind of like the original song better now.
Yeah.
Like I like Cudi, but I was like, this thoriginal one fucking slaps, bro. I throw that shit on when I'm driving. It's so fucking peaceful.
And then he goes out of his apartment, and she's just sitting out in the hallway,
Yeah.
and she
And
says,
this is one of my favorite interactions with them because it's so fucking good. He's like,
"Hey,
hey. She's like, hey.
hey."
Sorry. She's like, sorry about the noise. He's like, yeah, I was gonna call the cops.
And she says, "I wish you would."
It's like, oh, the sexual tension is palpable.
And
It's
then the
crazy.
dad comes out.
Yeah.
He's kind of a dick, but
And
I
he-
get
he's
it.
getting an attitude with Ryan, but I mean, like, I
Yeah.
also kind of understand from his
Yeah, bro. I
standpoint,
mean, I'd be
too.
like, "Who the
Yeah.
fuck are you?" You know?
Yeah.
I'd probably be the same way.
And then she's like, well, because they're he's taking out the trash with Benicio. He's like, oh, let's let mommy talk to her friend.
Because I mean, like, they talk a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, is this the guy that was
Like
helping
watching
out?"
over y'all,
Yeah.
helping out.
And like he's like, yeah, let's let mommy talk to her friend. He just walks away, like,
Yeah.
this is awkward. I'm
And then
gonna
he
leave.
like angrily says, "Have a good night."
Yeah, and then he leaves, and he's driving again. And he's
got a-
sitting in a diner.
Yeah, some
fucking
random
love
dude.
this scene, dude. It's so good.
Some random dude comes up to him, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're Shannon's buddy, right?"
And Ryan tells him to shut his mouth, or he'll kick his teeth down his throat and shut it for him.
Yeah. And the guy leaves.
He's like,
"All right."
Because he tells you the rules, bro. Never contact me again. You'll never be able to contact me on this phone. Don't fucking talk to me.
And then
You know the rules when you hire him.
he's coming home, and he's in the parking garage driving again. And there's like mobster guys, and they're like looking at him. And then you find out the Standard got beat up, and Benicio saw it all.
And it's funny because I think it's funny that he walks past fucking
He walks past Standard.
to see if Benicio's okay. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, Standard.
And then it's in the apartment, and Driver goes and he's talking to Standard. He's like, "Who are these people?"
Well, Standard
Yeah.
also tells Benny not to be scared and don't tell mom.
Yeah. And Standard's a dick about
This
it.
is where I put in my notes. Crazy, his name's Standard when Ryan Gosling is the real Standard.
Dude, true.
Goals.
And he's like, "A guy wants me to do... The guys want me to do a job, and I'm not going to do it. It's robbing a pawn shop in the valley."
Yep.
And he starts talking about how he owes money from being inside. And he's like, originally, it was $2,000, then it was $5,000, then it was $10,000, now it's $20,000. I don't know how much it's going to be tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they told me that they were going to come after Benicio and Irene next. And then the driver leaves the room they were in, and Benicio's sitting out there.
He's playing with something. He's like, hey, what you got there? And you find out it's a bullet. It's one of those guys gave it to him to hold on to, which makes it like, it's like the bullet I'm going to kill you with.
Yeah, gave it to him and told him not to lose it. It was
Yeah.
like, damn, bro, that's fucked.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, do you mind if I hold on to that for
Yeah.
you? So he's got the bullet with him because it comes back later.
And then it cuts to, or it shows the driver sitting in a booth at the diner Irene works at. And he's just like, I guess there's like a little bit of a time jump here. He's asking how Benicio is. Well, no, it's not, because I guess it would be pretty much the same time frame. Because then she's like, well, Standard was in an accident. He got beat up by like some drunk kids. And Irene wants the driver to come over and spend some time with Benicio.
So he comes over for dinner.
Yep. And Standard's kind of being a dick, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's being a dick, and he's telling the story to Benicio. But
He doesn't even know what fucking age she was when he met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out she was fucking underage. So
Yeah. So
He's a goddamn groomer.
Yep.
Fuck you, Standard.
Yeah.
Your name's awful. But he said that
And
he
it-
went up to her and he told her that his name was Standard.
And he's a technical diddler.
Yeah. And she says, well, where's the deluxe version? And I put, Standard is a dick for telling the story.
Yeah.
Because he's literally just doing it to like get under the driver's skin.
Yeah. And he's also like kind of like reminiscing because like I don't think he knows if he's gonna live or not. He's like laughing.
Yeah.
But I also do think you're right. I think he is.
That's just the
Like
vibe
trying to be
I
like,
got.
yeah, I've been
This
married
is
to-
my shit,
Yeah.
bro. You're over here in my territory. I was sniffing that thing out before it was legal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you goddamn.
Total Drake move.
He really
Yeah,
is Drake.
dude.
Goddamn.
It's like, all right, man. Weird flex, but okay.
He found him a 17-year-old, impregnated her, and then they had Benicio a year later.
Standard said it was the best day of his life whenever Benicio was born. And then it shows the driver walking, and he has a tool to break into a car, a Jimmy Rod.
Hell yeah.
But he has a sweet Mustang, and he's like telling Standard that he will help him. And he gives him the rundown of the rules. You got 5 minutes. If you go past that, I'm fucking gone. But anything in that 5 minutes, like I got your
I'm
back.
yours, yeah.
And then there's a lady named Blanche there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're talking to a mob boss guy. I can't remember his name.
Bald
Yeah.
dude.
Chris. No.
Chris, yeah.
Cook.
Cook. But his real name's Chris.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't find that out yet.
I put bald guys being an ass and writes down how the money breakdown is going to go on his hand. And then he shows it to Ryan and it just says, fuck off.
Yeah.
He's like, still want to do it, but of course he does because he's doing it for Irene, not the money.
Yeah.
And
But
he's
also,
like-
he's like being a dick to Christina Hendricks, and I was like, you put some fucking respect on her name, bro.
And he's like, look, man, I'm going to do this, but you never go near him or his family again.
Yep.
And then it shows him at the pawn shop, Standard and Ryan.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
He
Standard,
said, I'll see you in 4.
I'll see you in 4. And then Blanche is like standing outside.
I love that he taps the watch too, like
I'll
5
see you in 4.
minutes.
Technically, I'll see you in never.
Foreshadowing?
We don't know that yet.
Foreshadowing?
And then-
I think we all kind of knew.
Yeah. He's got on cool sunglasses. Everybody's got on cool sunglasses except for the driver.
But
But he has on cool fucking gloves, so it's
and a
fine.
cool fucking jacket.
And a cool fucking jacket.
And a cool fucking face.
Oh, he's so fucking handsome. He's the white Michael B. Jordan. Call back to last week.
Yeah.
And then So,
But then another car pulls into the parking lot, which
Thank
is
you.
suspicious, and they park, and they're like, oh, I'm interested. He looks at him and is like, oh, whatever. And then
Blanche comes
out. He opens the door like he did for the first people.
Yeah.
Yep.
She gets in, and then we're just waiting for Standard.
Yeah,
and then you hear gunshots,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Standard gets shot at. And then Standard gets shot in the fucking neck, and then he gets shot a lot more, and he's fucking dead.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
Ryan gets out of the car, and,
And,
he heard more gunshots, and he gets back in the car and fucking drives off.
And
And
then,
then the Chrysler that pulled in the
Pulled
parking
up.
lot is not following him.
starts fucking chasing after him.
Yeah.
And I put, was this a setup? And then that Caddy's keeping up. I mean, I thought it was a Cadillac at first, but I realized it was a Chrysler, like, partway
Yeah.
through my notes. But they start, like, bumping into him and shit because it's keeping up. And this is a really sweet car chase
Oh,
scene.
yeah, I agree.
I enjoyed it very much.
Ryan pulls some drifting maneuvers and starts going in reverse.
Yeah, dude. And then he makes them crash. He makes the
Yeah.
Chrysler crash by hitting that sweet fucking reverse move, bro. What the hell? Fuck yeah. And then there's a bag of money because they're at the hotel now after they crash. And then they open up this big bag of money and it's full of money. And he's like looking out the window because he be doing that like pretty much this whole movie, hitting that post up
Yeah.
that you like to hit. I hit that the other day looking out my front door and it
Feels
felt
good, yeah.
I was like, damn, I kind of get it. Cause I was out there and I like chopped some thorns down,
Yeah,
chopped some
dude.
trees down, I had weed eater and I was like looking out. But Blanche is there with him. And he said he's like, I thought we were only gonna get like 40 grand, but there's a lot more than that here. And then it cuts to Irene. She's talking to the police, reporting her missing. Well, I thought she was reporting her husband, but I think that they're telling her that he's dead.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
also calls Benicio, and he was just like, hey, what's your mom doing? And he was just like,
Talking to the police.
he was like, all right, well, I'll call back later.
Yeah. And then it's on the TV.
Yeah.
And they're talking about Standard. He's dead at the scene. They report who it is.
And they said there was no money stolen.
The pawn shop said that he acted alone and no money was stolen. And I wrote,
Suspicious.
And then, Ryan Gosling, driver, being the driver, he pulls out his sweet driving gloves.
Yeah, because I literally put in my notes, it's an allegory because he put the gloves on because he's about to do some dirty work.
Yeah, he was. Because he goes up to Blanche and he's like, why didn't he say anything if he saw you too? And he's like, did you know about the second car?
He slapped the shit out of her, too.
Yeah.
And he
dude.
smacks the absolute fuck out of her because she's lying.
Yeah.
And then he holds her down and I'm like, damn, daddy, okay.
You wish you'd hold me down
Yeah,
like that.
and he's like, you got a kid's father killed, and I almost got them killed, and if she doesn't tell the truth, then he's going to hurt her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I knew there'd be a second car to hold us up,
But I didn't know it was going to be this much money.
about all the money. And then he starts asking, like, who's that motherfucker's name? And then this is when you find out that Cook's name is actually Chris.
Right. And then right as he's doing all that,
He's like, you're going to take me to him right now.
Yeah.
And then she gets up and goes to the bathroom. Phone rings.
yeah. And then I guess she had been communicating with them
Yeah.
because two guys show up.
Yeah, like her phone vibrates on the bed. Ryan picks it up.
And then he looks around. Which
she
I assume
gets-
it's the guys being like, we're coming in or something.
Yeah, and she gets her fucking head blown off.
Yeah,
she
dude, like,
fucking
fucking,
does.
just,
Instantly.
and it's gone, bro.
Yeah.
The gore is fucking crazy in it, too.
Yeah, he just immediately picks up the mattress.
Yeah, that was cool. He like uses the mattress to like, cause there's like a dude coming in from the back and a dude coming in from the front, and he pulls up the mattress and like blocks the shot for the most part from the dude's shotgun
Yeah.
with it.
And then the guy who blew out Christina's head, fucking Blanche's head, fucking comes in. He gets shot by him, but then he's able to like get in there, and fucking like pop him with it, pulls
Yeah.
it around, shoots him with it, and then he fucking takes a
Sho-
rod and like
the shower rod.
like shoves it through his fucking throat.
And then he shoots the other guy coming in with the shotgun.
Yeah.
All right, he just killed two guys.
Yeah.
It's also really cool to see when he's coming out of the bathroom. His face is all bloody. He just looks fucking cool.
Yeah, he does. And then it pans to the garage, and a phone is ringing.
And then that's when it cuts and like he's getting patched up by a guy Shannon knows from the gunshots.
Cause like after he shoots that guy, he's standing there in the fucking doorway of the bathroom,
Yeah.
and the sun's hitting his face.
And then he retreats into the
And
shadows.
he retreats back into the shadows, and it's like, damn, bro, there's no turning back now.
Yeah, like,
you just
yeah.
killed two fucking guys. It was some kind of metaphor for what he just did, and it was sick, but I'm too stupid to explain it, but trust me, that meant something.
Yeah.
And then he calls Shannon, and he's getting doctored up,
Yep.
and Shannon's like, hey, like all that money, I could keep it here and keep the cash safe.
He's like, stop.
He's like, yeah, shut
But
the
then,
fuck up.
but then he's like, did you get his name? He's like, yeah, it's Cook. But I was like, no, Cook's right there. That's Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Hey. And he's like, well, I'll ask Bernie about the Cook guy.
Which is fucking mistake.
And then as he's leaving, Shannon's like, a lot of guys mess around with married women, but he's the only guy who knows to help the husband rob a place to pay back to pay him back. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's a good point. Why would you do that? And the driver walks down a set of stairs to a stripper girl.
Yep. He's like, hey, where's Cook at? He's like, hey, he's in there. And I'm like, this bitch is stupid.
And he has a hammer.
You just dry snitch like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you stupid.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah,
He's like,
he's in there.
He's in there.
But he had a fucking hammer in his hand.
And then he
Are you
comes in
stupid?
there, and he just fucking smashes Cook's arm. And I saw at least 3 sets of boobs.
Yeah.
James McDowell titty counter back, baby. You know what I'm saying? At least 3 sets. Maybe 4. Couldn't tell. Got confused. A lot of boobs at once. A lot of different shots. Wasn't really paying attention to their face because their boobs were out.
And then he like puts him to the ground. He's like, whose fucking money do I have? And he's like, somebody called Nino. And then you're like, oh shit, it was Nino.
Yeah.
And then one of the girls gets Nino on the phone, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this?" He's like, "I'm gonna have time and a place."
Well, he also makes Cook swallow the bullet.
Yeah, he does. And
Oh,
I,
that's
and I
before
also
that,
thought
yeah.
it was funny that these stripper girls don't even bat an eye to all this going on.
Yeah,
because
whatever.
because before he does that, he like puts it to his temple, like he's gonna hit the fucking into his fucking head. He's like,
Yeah. He
and
makes him swallow it.
then after that, he puts it in his mouth and like he's like,
But they call Nino, and some dude answers, and he's like, "Hey,
because while he's on the phone, he's got like his foot on his fucking throat. He's like,
I have this $1 million.
So who's $1 million for?
This scene is cool, not just because of the boobs."
Yeah.
And then Nino gets on the line, and he's like, "You expect me to buy my own shit back from you?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna give it back because I'll
This is cool as hell too, because he's what do you get out of it? He's like, that's just it.
out of it,
I was like,
out of it."
cold.
He's like, "Who's your partner?" He's like, "I haven't discussed this with anyone else."
Yeah, then Ryan says, Nino says, "You're not very good at this, are you?" And then Ryan just hangs up.
Yeah.
And I put, he just doing all this because he's simping over his neighbor.
Yeah.
And Nino pulls a Les Grossman and goes, "Find out who that is."
Poor Standard got replaced, came home, died, and immediately had a replacement ready. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he goes to see Irene, and she's like, "I can't talk." And he's like, "Well, will you walk with me for a minute?"
Yeah, because I guess she's going to work or something. I don't know.
I don't know. And they go to the elevator, and he starts telling her like everything that happened. He's like, "Hey, I was with Standard. I was gonna be the getaway driver. I was trying to help him out. He was in bad, and they were gonna get hurt. Like you and Benicio were gonna get hurt."
But I still have the money. If you wanted to use that, get away. He's like, maybe I could come with you. He slides that in. He's like, maybe I can come with you. And then she slaps him.
She
She
slaps
smacks
the
the
shit
shit
out of him.
out of him. But
Yeah.
understandable.
But she also after she does it, she's like, I think she kind of regrets it.
And then he
But
sheds a
he kind of
tear.
does deserve it. But
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, he kind of got her husband killed.
Yep. He sheds a tear, and they get in the elevator, and
Because the guy's like, oh shit, wrong floor. I was like, yeah, wrong floor of my ass. Because that's the same guy from earlier when he says, find out who that is.
yeah.
And we're like, oh yeah, no, this motherfucker up something.
And then a driver is staring this dude down and sees that he's got a gun.
Clocks his gun. He does the ocular pat down, finds
Yep.
his gun, clocks the gun.
Yep.
Very cool. And then it gets like slow motion-y.
Excellent cinematography.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
He grabs Irene because she's standing beside him,
And like the lights go really dim as
Yep.
as it zooms into him.
and he puts her behind him, and
Yep.
then he turns around
Kisses the fuck out of her, dog.
deeply and passionately.
Yeah, goddamn.
And then he just starts beating the dude's ass in the elevator.
Yeah.
He
Starts stomping that motherfucker.
stamps his fucking head in
like
for real.
so many times. And I was like, stop it, he's already dead.
And then I also just wanted to mention how good the gore in this movie is.
and then there's the cool shot where like they're just staring at each other with like the blood on his face, and then the fucking elevator door just closes.
Yeah, because she gets out.
Yeah, it's fucking. Oh, it's so good, dude.
And because he doesn't go with her. And then back to driving again. And he
Because that was
drives.
basically like him being like, you gotta get out of here.
You gotta
Like,
go, yeah.
You gotta skedoodle.
He's basically like accepting his fate. He's like, oh, this is what I gotta do now.
And then he drives to meet Shannon.
Yep. And Shannon's a fucking dumbass. And fucking, because when he called, he was like, he fucking told Nino that it was his money.
Yep.
And he was trying to put in a good word, be like, hey, just, the kid's just gonna give you back the money. But he just made things worse. It was fucking stupid.
And he told them like he's doing it for Irene, so now
Yeah.
they're gonna go after Irene.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he's like, you told her about fucking Irene, you fucking idiot.
and then he's like, let me talk to Bernie. And Driver's like, dog, don't you understand that they're coming for us?
Yeah.
And we got to get out of here and never come
I
back.
can never come back.
And then it cuts to Bernie and Nino. And Bernie's like, dude, you should have just taken the money and left the guy alone.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking monkey. I don't know who he said that to. And maybe he said it to the cook guy.
Maybe.
Because the cook guy's
Yeah.
there, Chris, and he's
Yeah.
like all fucked up.
But then this is also when Nino's talking about like, bro, like because they find out that he steals from the mob, the East Coast mob, and he was moving it. He was stealing from them.
Yep.
And he's like, they're having a conversation, and he's like, look, bro, my own family still calls me a very bad word for Jewish people to my face, and like they're always treating me like a little kid. Like, bro, I deserve respect. And he's like, yeah, but you don't steal from the fucking mob, dude.
He's like, dude, we're going to die if they find out
like
we stole
don't
from
you
them.
realize like we have loose ends ends we gotta tie up, dude.
He's like, they still pinch my cheek like I'm a kid and everything. They don't respect me.
Yeah.
And he's like, we gotta kill the driver and Shannon because they're loose ends.
And then this fucking Bernie does this little look to Cook like,
Yeah.
and then fucking Nino is like, yeah.
Yeah, if you have to. And dude, Bernie like
Grabs
just
a fucking fork from the restaurant.
Yeah,
and,
cold-blooded.
like stabs him in the
Yes,
fucking eye.
eye.
And
Yeah.
then grabs a fucking knife and just fucking stabs him in the neck.
and then
dude.
he's like, you can clean up this mess. I've been cleaning up all of yours.
He's like, because it's basically like what I put in my notes. He's like, they're gonna clean up each other's messes because like he killed him, and then he's gonna go kill.
He's gonna go
Yeah.
kill the driver.
Yeah.
It pans to
Well,
Ryan.
not really, because Nino can do fucking shit. Nino's a fucking idiot.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's why they don't respect you. It's because you're fucking stupid.
And then
You
pans
act like
to,
a little kid, you get treated like a little kid.
Yeah, pans to driver walking to a set trailer,
Yep.
and he grabs the bald mask from earlier.
He's also still wearing that sweet jacket.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
with fucking blood all over it. Dumbasses did not collect that at
And
all.
then it shows Bernie is there with Shannon at the garage.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, this is just bad luck, the way this all worked out.
And then he asked where the driver is. He said, I don't know, Mexico, or maybe he said Belize.
And so it's good that he did, even at the very end, he didn't sell him out, which is good.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, there,
So
there's,
he had a little bit of decency.
there's
Yeah.
2,000 heists a year in this city, and you picked the wrong one.
Yeah.
You know?
J. Jonah Jameson, How are you getting these pictures? I don't know, they're sent through the mail.
Yeah. Loyal.
And Shannon's like, dude, I'm just trying to leave. And Bernie's like, it's a real shame because I was really excited about like the car and
Yeah.
the race team we were gonna do.
And then he like goes for a handshake.
Ah, dude, I was like, oh, damn.
And then Bernie slit his wrist though, and he's like, "Hey, it's okay, it's over, no pain, no pain. You're just gonna kind of bleed out and die."
Which he does do it kind of humanely.
Yeah.
As-
More humanely than Cook.
Yeah, that's true.
Cook came out of nowhere and brutally.
Dude, he brutally murdered that. He felt that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
I put Miss Shannon Rip.
Yeah, just where Shannon gets his wrist slit.
and then he goes and like puts his fucking knife up.
Yeah.
And a
Shit.
pretty cool, sick knife collection.
Yeah, pretty sweet knife collection. Not gonna lie. And then it's back to the garage. Driver shows up and he finds.
Yeah, he
Shannon.
finds Shannon. He's like, "Damn, man!" And then he like twists his head, which is cool. And then he goes into the trunk to get the money because he never told Shannon where it was. And it's like it's crazy that Bernie didn't know he was right next to
He
his
was
money
literally
the whole
right next to
time.
the car with the money in it
The whole
yep.
time.
And then he grabs the money, and then it shows him sitting in front of the pizzeria from
Yeah,
earlier.
which I thought that scene was sick too. He's
Yeah.
just sitting there.
Yep, just looking at it. And
I,
then he
I,
goes,
I like the way they filmed this part too, because like he walks, you see him walking up to the door, and you see Nino, and then it flips, and you just see him standing outside.
It's cool too because like Nino's talking to some girl. He's like laughing, having a good time, and the girls like he told a funny joke, and he's laughing at his own joke, and the girl's just standing there straight face like.
Yeah.
We also failed to
whatever you
mention-
said wasn't funny.
we also
So
failed to
it just shows
mention
he's
that
a
he
prick.
put the silicone head on.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, did you say
Yeah.
that? My bad, dog.
He said he put the mask on from earlier.
Yeah. That's all me, big dog.
Oh, you good?
And then he goes back to the car and waits for them to come out. And Nino comes out with his driver and leaves, and he
Yeah.
He
follows
follows
him.
him.
And then the driver crashes into
Does
him.
like a little hit and run, and then kind of drives off.
And they're like, "What the fuck was that?"
And then like the driver gets out, looks around, he's like, "Yeah, we should get the fuck out of here." And I don't see anybody. And then like as they're getting ready to go, the headlights flip on in the background,
Yeah.
and like motherfucker fucking slams him off a fucking cliff. It's
Yeah.
so fucking cool.
Yeah, T-bones the fuck out of him.
Yeah, they do like a 2 flips. It's fucking
Yeah,
cool.
dude.
And then Nino tries to get out, or he gets out and he starts trying to get away, and they're on a beach now.
Yeah.
And how does this show how he kills Nino? It doesn't, does
No,
it?
he just goes into the water, and I assume he drowns
Yeah.
because he's already like he's pretty.
Yeah, 'cause-
Nino's already pretty fucked
Because
up.
I put driver drowns him ?
Yeah.
And then it does a city overshot again.
Yep. And then it shows him talking to Bernie on the phone.
I'm like, he's on like a fucking like fire escape, like
Yeah.
overlooking the city. It's a really
and
cool shot.
He was like, hey, have you ever heard the story about the scorpion and the frog? Your friend Nino didn't make it across the river.
And he's like, "Do you want to meet?" And he's like, "Why?" And he says, "You, me, and your girlfriend are the only players left. How is that for a reason?" And he says, "Meet at the Great Wall."
He says where? He's like Great Wall. It's a little restaurant.
And then he goes driving, and he calls Irene.
Yep.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm probably gonna die somewhere." He wants her to know that being around her and Benicio was the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yep. Yeah, I wrote that whole thing down, yeah.
And then he gets to the Great Wall, and Bernie's sitting in there, and they're talking. And And he's like, did you bring the money? And he doesn't say anything.
And he's like, look, this is how this is going to go. You give me the money.
The girl is safe.
Yep.
I can't offer you the same.
You're going to be looking over your shoulder the rest of your life. You leave, get the fuck out, you never come back.
And then he's like, all right, the money's in the car.
It tells him whatever dreams and plans for the future that he has needs to be put on hold.
Go ahead and log off.
And
Then it starts cutting, and it shows them going out to the car to get the money.
yeah,
Yep.
And he gives Bernie the money, and Bernie immediately stabs him, and he stabs Bernie, and then he kills the fuck out of Bernie.
Yeah. Violently, but off screen because we
Yeah.
only see it in shadow, which is really
Yeah.
cool. Really cool choice to only see it in shadow.
And I thought, like, you know, he got cut pretty bad by Bernie.
Yeah.
And
Ryan gets up and he's all bloody.
I also wanted to mention that his kicks are also badass. Cause
Yeah,
the
because
first time I
they're
saw
like
his
the
shoes-
shiny fucking silver
Yeah,
or
dude.
gold. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
shit.
Damn, hell yeah, dude. This guy's got style.
And
Yeah,
like
he does.
he just sits in the car
Staring at the sun.
staring.
And I thought he was
like,
dying.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's a
it-
long shot and his
Yeah.
eyes don't move. Like I don't know how he did it, but like
It's
his
kind of
eyes don't
like
move.
that scene in Pearl where they just keep on
Yeah.
her face.
Yeah.
Like his eyes did not move.
Yeah, and then he just blinks, and I was like, "Oh, I guess he's not dead."
Yeah, here's my like thought process as we're doing this. I put sitting in his car, bleeding out in the sunset. Sheesh. Is he dead though? I can't tell. His face isn't moving at all. Neither are his eyes. Music is starting. Is he dead though? Oh my god, he blinked.
I put he blinked. I put he blinks and takes his hand off his stab wound and drives off.
Yeah.
Leaves Bernie and the money there,
Yep.
and then
Drives off one last time while real hero plays.
and it shows Irene going to
Dude.
knock on his door, and he doesn't answer because he can't come back.
And then he walks away, and she walks away.
Yep.
And then it
And
shows
then
him driving. Again.
And it's
cut-
cool because he leaves Nino in the parking lot with the money. So now the mob will find him and be like, "Oh, cool! It was him the whole time."
Yeah, it was
So
Hannibal.
like now he knows for sure that she's safe.
Yeah, and then cuts to black, and then before the credits even roll, it's just black screen, and it says a real hero, a real human being, and then the credits start to roll as the rest
Yeah.
of the song plays.
that was a good fucking movie.
I put pretty solid fucking movie.
Yeah.
Give it 8.5 out of 10.
You gonna give it an 8.5?
It's 10. I love this movie. I can't really be unbiased.
I think I'm going with I originally had a 10. I think I'm gonna go with a 9.5.
Oh, yeah.
Respect.
I'll bump mine up to a 9.
'Cause
Like,
I mean, there's really-
I originally just wrote down 8.5 out of 10.
All right.
But like now that we talked about it, bump it up to a 9.
Yeah, it's a good fucking movie.
It's great.
It's a
fucking
total
movie.
vibe movie.
It's a
sure.
Oh,
really
yeah.
It's a
vibe.
good
The
late night
soundtrack-
movie too.
Because like I always write down what my initial thought is,
Yeah.
and then it either goes up or down. And
Right.
I feel confident enough that like, I could bump it up to a 9.
Yeah, I
It's
like
a
that.
great
Not a
fucking
full
movie.
10. I got you.
I've never seen it before. If I'd watched it previously,
Yeah.
I'd probably be rocking out with a 10 right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
totally
yeah, me
get
too.
it.
This is the very
Yeah.
first time I've ever seen this movie. And
But
it's
like,
crazy.
it's
After some time,
memorable.
I'll ask you again. Like, again, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
let me know.
Hey, I might do it in an honorable mention in the second Come episode. You know?
Yeah,
Hell
you never
yeah.
know.
You know what I mean? Because I'll probably watch this movie again.
Yeah,
I'm not
for
big
sure.
on rewatches anymore, but
Right.
I'll probably watch
On
it
movies I
again.
really love, I am.
Yeah.
This is one of them. Fight Club's one of them for me.
I'm just not one to throw on a movie anymore. Like, if I'm going to throw it on, I'm going to throw it on because I haven't seen it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Or I
Okay.
haven't letterboxed it at least.
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. I need to watch a bunch of my stuff on the watch list.
Same.
This was on my watch list.
I'm bad about not putting things on my watch list. Like,
Every time I'm watching like a YouTube video, someone talks about it, someone mentions a movie I've never seen, I'm like, that sounds interesting. I'll throw it on my watch list. So I've been accumulating a bunch of them recently.
I only have
I-
6 movies on my watch
I
list.
do like how
Damn.
with watch or with
Watch Mojo.
no letterbox. If you put it in your watch later and you watch it, it immediately takes it out for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so 9.5, 10.
Hell yeah. I think we juiced that movie.
Has anybody got anything else to add?
No.
Watch this movie. It's a good one.
Yeah, watch this movie. I highly recommend it. Like you said, it's a really good vibe movie.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack's pretty good too.
Yeah.
A couple songs don't end up on your playlist. There's something wrong with you.
Well, alrighty, that's been another Movie Juiced. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Follow us on Facebook at Movie Juice, Instagram and Twitter at Movie Juice Pod. Still got that coming soon website at www.moviejuicepod.com. If you got any suggestions for a logo, or if you have any thoughts on movies we've already reviewed, or a recommendation for other movies, send them in. You can put them in the comments, but if it's the logo, please email it to us. It's going to be easier to look at. If we decide to use it, we'll give you money. But if you have any thoughts on things we've already watched, or if you have any thoughts on our podcast itself, just write them in or leave them in the comments. If you'd love to send us an email, it's at moviejuicepod@gmail.com. Write in. We'd love to hear from you. All links can be found on our link tree. We are on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Follow us all individually on Instagram and Twitter. Our handles are in the description below. We'll be back next week with the hit 2008 superhero classic movie The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan, as a part of the Dark Knight trilogy. It stars Christian Bale and Heath Ledger.
And it's fucking good as fuck.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Oh my god, I'm excited for that one, boys.
It's in the Library of Congress.
It is.
So good of a movie it is.
It's so fucking good.
As always,
I've been Dylan. I've been Kyle.
And I've been James. And for one last time, this has been The Juice.